No, they use Allah, what could body keep people. Allah is crazy, oh, they keep person. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is crazy, no, they keep person. No, they use Allah, what could body keep people. Allah is crazy, oh, they keep person. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is crazy, no, they keep person. Salam alaikum, alaikum wassalami. Salam alaikum, say na peace na we want. But no be Muslim, it's not a Christian. And we're there for Bible, make we kill ourselves. Salam alaikum, alaikum wassalami. Salam alaikum, say na peace na we want. But no be Christian, it's not a Muslim. And we're there for Quran, make we bomb ourselves. They come from Shah, they want on with terrorists. Come from Niger, they want on with terrorists. Every day by day, them are bombing our schools, killing our youth, say we know they happy. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is crazy, no, they keep person. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is crazy, no, they keep person. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is crazy, no, they keep person. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is crazy, no, they keep person. Prophet Muhammad is the road to Allah. Prophet Muhammad, no, they keep for Allah. In the preach peace to the unbelievers, change your ways and turn to Allah. Prophet Muhammad is the road to Allah. Prophet Muhammad, no, they keep for Allah. In the preach peace to the unbelievers, they can change our ways and turn to Allah. The wages of sin.
I have to apologize to everyone for no reasons. As we were preparing to come live, the system just collapsed completely. We had all the gadgets and everything, and I did everything. My speakers, every one of them, have been trying to get on for unknown reasons. So let me apologize to every one of you and actually thank you for joining me right now. My name is Temitope Olodo. I'm a preventive terrorism consultant, author, and president of African Security Forum. And today we're going to be talking about safety and security in our homes. As you all know, since this president has got into power, security, particularly kidnapping, has gone to up, skyrocketed rather than going down. I'm one of those people that love the president. I have no problem with that. But I think it's important when the truth needs to be told that it is told that under this presidency of President Muhammad Buhari, security has gone worst. Kidnappers, people adopting people have not only just adopted little children, old women, helpless people, rich people. They're adopting pastors. they're their latest targets now because they know they've got large population. But what even is getting me all worried now as we speak is that they are coming into people's home. Now, our home is our last defense. So in Nigeria, apart from communal clashes, armed robbers come into your house and just steal little things. It's not every house that armed robbers go into, and especially, gone are those days where you used to have serious armed robbery in places like Lagos, Ibadan. All those things have really died down, and we know that when you're on the road, you might not be that safe because it could be adopted. But the fact that they are now entering to homes, I saw a video, and I'm gonna try and play that video if it's not gonna mess up our system again, where they actually bent the iron bar protecting a door in Abuja. I'm not talking of Nasarawa. I'm not talking of a village. I said in the capital of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Abuja. They squeezed the door, opened it so that they could get access to the man in that house. Now, this is a serious issue because it's important to highlight for most of those people that are watching us that in Nigeria, you cannot carry weapons except it has been approved by the police. And even those things are done guns, like local guns. It's guns that are used for hunting and things like that. You can't carry a peaceful side pistol except you're a security personnel. So the question then is, how do you then protect yourself in this kind of situation? If you're watching me right now, I want you to like this page, I want you to share this page, and I want you to tell your friends, family, and loved ones that I'm live and I'm going to be talking about 7 things that you could do to protect your home. 7 things that you could do to protect your home. It's very important that we learn about those things that we need to do to protect our homes. And I'll be talking about those things. And in fact, I'll be talking about a particular app that you could actually, that you could actually sign up to that will allow your loved ones to know where you're going. And I'll tell you why this is important. This is important because we know that there was a lady, who a psychologist, mental health advocate, who was recently adopted in the capital in Abuja, and she alleged that the people that came to adopt her and a dozen other people within different locations within Abuja were dressed in police uniform. So she said, fortunately for her, they did not search her, they did not collect her phone. So she sent an alert that she was being adopted, and they were actually taking them down to Ilorin from Abuja. And many Nigerians, both home and abroad, start asking questions like, what is actually happening? Why are the police not intercepted, these guys, especially when they say they are dressed in police uniform, and they don't even know that there was information being relayed, lifetime, we call it real-time information, being relayed about the adoption that was ongoing. It's like when you watch those American movies when somebody is in the back of a police of a kidnapper's boot, and they send a message, and that message, and they're telling them, the command and control is telling them, don't worry, we're here for you, and they're even sending a helicopter, and they're telling them, what do you see, what do you hear, what do you this person has said that they're on their way to Ilorin. So we know there's only one way to Ilorin. You can easily project that, okay, if they were picked up at this time, this is the time they told us they were picked up. If there are traffic along this route and they've gone this route, that means that at least they are 10 kilometers into their trip, 15 kilometers into their trip, 20 kilometers. And then you could scramble an helicopter to pick them up. Lo and behold, there's no helicopter to scramble. Why now? Why is there no helicopter? Because they've all been sent to Ekiti for the election in Ekiti. That shows you the value placed on lives of human beings in Nigeria. It is a shame that girl was saying that, and the police cannot even show us what I'm hoping for, because they said now the girl is going through treatment and they debunked the whole story. So I am eagerly, like many Nigerians, waiting to hear the side of the police, to hear what they are going to say. So if you're watching me right now, I want you to like this page, I want you to share this page, and I want you to let me know, what you think. Do you think you are safe where you are living? Do you honestly believe you are safe? Are you very confident about your safety? Let me know. Let me just play this short video and then we'll come back.
Mr. Temitope Olodo, I'm a preventive terrorism consultant, author and president of African Security Forum based in the United Kingdom.
Joining me live now to discuss this further is terrorism expert and author Temitope Olodo.
Joined now by Temitope Olodo.
Joined now by security analyst Temi Olodo. Good morning, Temi.
Ladies and gentlemen, my people, to be man, no be by muscle, to be man, no be by plenty bia. Okay, what do you know about security will concern your life, concern your family, and concern your community? How much about politics will concern you and even concern the politics you know about? You want know more? You want sabi as they go? Oh yeah, now introducing Temitope Olodo. Yes, Temitope Olodo. Now the man wey sabi pass sabi. Temitope Olodo na professional and he gets plenty much experience as a security guru. Anything or any matter wey concern security, leave her for her. because na him be the baba. Temitope Olodo na diaspora community leader with better experience for community leadership. As a political scientist, Temitope Olodo does study and understand the political space, and he get over 20 years of news analysis with exclusive interview with top professionals at the top. I mean them the oga gang where they at the top. Yes, ke by Ogbonge family. Shine your eye, open your ear.
Olodo, I'm a preventive terrorism consultant, author, and president of African Security Forum based in the United Kingdom.
Joining me live now to discuss this further is terrorism expert and author Temitope Olodo.
Joined now by Temitope Olodo.
Joined now by security analyst Temi Alozo. Good morning, Temi.
Ladies and gentlemen, my people, to be man, no be by muzzle, to be man, no be by plenty bia. Okay, what do you know about security will concern your life, concern your family, and concern your community? How much about politics will concern you, and even concern the politics you know about? You want know more? You want sabi as they go? Oh yeah, now introducing Temitope Olodo. Yes, Temitope Olodo. Now the man wey sabi pass sabi. Temitope Olodo na professional, and he gets plenty much experience as a security guru. Anything or any matter wey concern security, leave am for am, because na him be the baba. Temitope Olodo na diaspora community leader with better experience for community leadership. As a political scientist, Temitope Olodo does study and understand the political space, and he get over 20 years of news analysis with exclusive interview with top professionals at the top. I mean them the oga gang where they at the top. Yes, ke by Ogbonge family. Shine your eye, open your ear. Temitope Olodo na the man wey sabi. Oh yeah, na as they hot, as they come on smoke. Temitope Olodo na security.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. John. Thank you for joining me. And Angola London TV, thank you so much for joining me. Yes, I have to agree with you that kidnapping is pandemic in Nigeria, and I'm actually very, very shocked. I must say I'm shocked and disappointed that we've gotten to a point where kidnapping in Abuja has gotten to the level where it is now, because we are now in a situation where people, things are happening in Nigeria that one need to ask if there's any security in that country. Or we got to a point where people are going into people's home, to adopt them, and that is not what we want in a country where every one of us, that's meant to be our home. It's meant to be our home, And I'm not happy that we've gotten to a situation where people are being adopted, and yet this adoption is going unreported. There are even situations where people are being adopted and people are not reporting it. People are not reporting it any longer because people are just fed up. They're fed up of the situation that we are in right now. We're in a situation where you can be adopted by anybody. You could be adopted by anybody, even what do you call them now? Even housemates are organizing the adoption of people. And is that where we should get to? Should we be in that situation where people are actually adopted in their homes? Is that right? Should that be happening? Should we be allowing that to happen in a country where there is a government? The government seems to be powerless because they adopted people on the train on their way from the Abuja Kaduna train adoption. And yet some people, even with all this campaign going on, some people are still there. But we must give it to the Southwest, because we're going to be talking about security in the Southwest. We must give it to the Southwest because the Southwest have actually, got their acts together. Look at what they have done, actually. They actually lowered the flag. Do you know that since President Buhari have been there, and I'm bold to say this, he has never lowered the flag for even soldiers that were killed. And I've asked, if you go and Google it, put my name on it, lower flag. I've asked the president more than 3-4 times to lower flag for the killing of military personnel, lower flag for killing of Nigerians. So that is the way. If anything happens in the UK and 5 or 6 people are killed, you will find out that Downing Street will lower the flag, but not Nigeria. They only lower flag when one of their presidents die or one politician die. That is when they lower flag, and that for me is quite disappointing because I just feel that we're all Nigerians. You don't need to have a title before before your government actually appreciates and value you. Let me show you this video so that you can understand exactly what I'm talking about.
F01 Kubwa Abuja on the June
Okwa,
of 8th.
Abuja.
So
Yeah?
kidnappers
Let me
came
start from
here.
beginning.
F01 Kubwa Abuja
Kubwa,
on the June of 8th.
8th of
So
June,
kidnappers came here,
10
blew up
days
this
ago.
place, trying to kidnap one of the residents in this compound. They already took one person at the downstairs, so they tried gaining entrance to this person's residence. Thank God for him. He's safe. They could not get him. And I thank God for my children and I, we are safe as well. This is what this country has turned into, that nowhere is safe. Nowhere is safe. They come to your house and kidnap. This is where we have gotten to. This is what we have found ourselves in this country. This happened today at about 12:30, at about 11:30 to 12 in F01 Abuja.
Now you had that, and I need to correct myself. I actually thought the house that they actually tried to enter into, I actually thought that they actually adopted the owner of the house. But fortunately, as the good news is, the woman, her children, and her husband or partner is safe. So we thank God for that. But they actually adopted somebody at the downstairs because they are at the upper floor. And that is the situation where we found ourselves. That is the sad situation where we found ourselves, where kidnappers are entering into people's house in Abuja, the federal capital. They are entering their house. Please, if you are watching me right now, one of the things you could do for me is, because we're going to be talking about ways to protect yourself, because now we got into a situation where they're coming into your homes. And the question is, you are not allowed to carry a weapon. And even if you have and you go to the police, they will ask you to pay bribes and everything. So the question that we need to be asking ourselves is, how can you protect yourself? You saw what they did to that door. So the people that did that are ready to enter your house by hook or by crook. And your house is meant to be your last frontier. Now, if when they are doing that in the UK, police could get to you within 5 minutes. That one, it should take at least roughly about 5 to 6 minutes, 7-8 minutes for them to do that. But Nigerian police can take more than 1 hour to get to your house. That's if they even come. They wait until the robbers have gone before they come in and say, "What happened? What happened? What happened?" But here we are. This is where we are, where they are entering into people's houses, and this is what they are doing. And I'm sick and tired of talking about the same thing. So let's listen to somebody who is a victim of this kind of incident, and let's hear what
all the 8 are Fulani. They are Fulani boys, and that if any day they see the president, they will chew him. It's their brother that they have disappointed them and disappointed Nigerians. They will chew him raw, or any of his representatives, they will chew him raw. So I said, well, even though I'm part of government, but I'm a church man. I'm a man, Christian. I'm not a government official. I said, okay. That is what has saved you. You would have killed you outrightly without asking for any ransom. But now that you're a church man, let's go. Let's go inside the bush. So we moved and trekked up to 15 kilometers. But I knew that it was from my area. I knew that we were rigmaroling and winding, going up, going down, going up. And eventually at 11 p.m., They said, okay, now we negotiate. Each of us will pay 50 million, and we're going to pay 150 million. I thought it was a joke. I said, we are going to pay 10 million. They said, what? What? Don't say that. They lifted up their knife to cut me. I said, please hold on. They said, we are not going to change though. They're going to pay us 150 million. Eventually, they said, okay, because you are a father. And these boys are between 18, their leader is about 35 years. I told them, all of you are younger than my own daughter and even my son. You are younger than them. I'm supposed to be your father. I say, we know, that's why we are not very harsh with you. Otherwise, not even outside. So they now say, okay, Oga, let us tell you what.
So you heard him. He said, this is an old man, head of a big ministry in Nigeria. And subsequently, after his adoption and his release, we know that more pastors have been picked up. So one of the things I'll be talking about is 7 things that pastors, people of the clergy can actually do to protect themselves, because we know that they are actually a prime target. They are like the yummy that most people are interested in. And the reason being that they have a huge membership. And, he also mentioned that they got 1,000. They actually, when they want to raise money, they raise more money. So nobody wants their papa, as they call them, papa, or their religious leaders, to be picked up, and left in that kind of condition. So people will definitely donate money. And now these terrorists are, capitalizing on that and actually looking at that as a means of actually picking them up. So we know that they picked up more than 1 or 2. But there is a video I want to show you, and this is to tell you, agreeing with Mr. John, at least for once, we have to agree that there have to be a 5th column involved in this, because I can't understand how there's an infection, and majority of people committing this offense are Fulanis. There's no doubt about it. Majority of them, of course, I'm not saying Yorubas are not doing it. I'm not saying Igbos are not doing it. I'm not saying Sheklis are not doing it. I'm not saying other tribes are not doing it. But majority of the people doing it are, what do you call them? Are Fulanis. And, we've had, Nigerian President Obasanjo speaking Yoruba. We've had, I was expecting that Mr. President, the commander-in-chief, will have spoken in Fulani and, call these people to order. Of course, there are people that will come on there and say, oh, no, you shouldn't say that. He's not the president for Fulani people because it's his people doesn't mean, or because it comes from there. I've had arguments of people saying that he actually was brought up by his grandmother in Daura, so he actually does not have good connection with the Fulani population. But whether you like it or not, the bottom line is that he's a Fulani and he should be able to communicate with them. Thank you, Mr. Collins, watching us all the way from Ibadan. Thank you, Mr. John, watching us from London. And I have another brother watching us from London. I know there are people watching us from Dubai right now. So wherever you're watching us from, please, like this page, share this page. Let me share another quick video with you, because I think this video will speak truth to some of the issues that I want to bring up to highlight the kind of challenge that we have. It's not a horrible video, but I think it demonstrates what is really happening in Nigeria.
Open your eye. I'll make them flog you. Open your eye. See them. See them. My cousin, they terrorize me. I don't go
Look at, see them. God don't catch them. God don't catch them. God don't catch them. Thief. See them. See them. See them.
But they run speed anyhow because
I'm telling you.
after breaking the way they run, they come.
Because of those cars right there.
See them.
I don't go na country, ba.
See them.
No mind them.
I don't go na
See them.
very stupid set of people.
See them.
This is happening live along Lokoja Aniba Road,
Yes, Oshadam.
Oshadam Road, and this will be report live to Sahara Reporter in the next 5 minutes.
Yes.
You can see them live.
See them.
See them live.
See them. Fulani herdsmen.
On highway robbery.
They hide your face. Why they hide your
No
face?
hide your face. Open
They
your
hide your
face.
face. Open your face. Make we see am.
Look at their
They hide your face.
Look at their face very well.
I'm robber.
Fulani herdsmen. Robbing on highway.
Every day we no go pass through.
Between Lokoja and Aniba Highway Road. Look at their face. Look at their face very well. Look at their face.
You cannot wear shirt from this money, nothing. Upon the whole money, is nonsense that you wear. Look at it.
Okay, you've seen it all. You see what is really happening there. The people that were adopted, that were actually caught on the motorway. They were trying to cause havoc, and what I still don't understand is why we have the pandemic of Fulani criminals or Fulani extraction getting involved in criminality. Is it because the boys are fed up of rearing cattle now, and all they're doing now is just going into criminality? Where are their parents? Where is Meete Allah actually working to bring these children, to retrain them and give them skills? Because everyone that you pick up, for every 15 that you pick up, 10 or 12 are Fulani extractions, while maybe 3 or 4 are Yoruba Igbos that are getting involved. So it's like it's a pandemic, and yet our Nigerian leaders do not want us to actually talk about it in this manner. They get offended when you raise the issue and actually point out that this is really, really happening. And honestly, I've been honest now. I don't know what we could do. Honestly, I do not know what we could do now, to stop this influx, because these guys, and some of them, by the time you speak to them, speak in English or speak Fulani, you find out that they are not even Nigerians. So if they are not Nigerians, why is it so difficult for the federal government of Nigeria or even the immigration service to get involved and pick these people and deport them back to their country? Why is it that our immigration service is lukewarm? Is it because we have a president of a Fulani extraction, at the seat of power, and that's the reason why the immigration service is not doing their work? Because I've seen police on the road, I've seen customs on the road, but I've not seen immigration service who are responsible for people, identifying people, either Nigerians or non-Nigerians, actually hitting the road and stopping all these lorries. There was a lorry, a big lorry load of people traveling from one part of Nigeria to another part of Nigeria. Now, let me highlight now clearly that I have no problem with people going at the back of the lorry if they don't have enough money to be able to take a normal bus. It's for the security agencies to charge the individual for using vehicles which are meant for goods, to be using it to transfer human beings, which has a safety issue there. Apart from that, I think any Nigerian, if they want to travel from the south to the north, have a right to go anywhere in the country. But we know that most of these people are Nigerians, Chadians, so they're not Nigerians. Even Mali, they've even gone up to Mali, and yet we're observing them because they speak our language. We're observing them and bringing them in and not allowing anybody to quiz them, even though they are criminals. No, we must not allow this. We must not allow this to happen. Let me go back to that video because I think it's important to go back to the video of the what you call the Methodist the Methodist man, because he spoke truth to power on a lot of issues.
Fulani boys, all the 8 are Fulani.
He said they are Fulani boys.
They are Fulani boys, and that if any day they see the president, they will chew him. He's their brother, that they have disappointed them and disappointed Nigerians. They will chew him raw. Or any of his representatives, they will chew him raw. But I said, well, even though I'm part of government, but I'm a church man. I'm a man, Christian. I'm not a government official. I said, okay. That is what has saved you. You would have killed you outrightly without asking for any ransom. But now that you're a church man, let's go. Let's go inside the bush. So we moved and trekked up to 15 kilometers. But I knew that it was from my area. I knew that we were rigmaroling and winding, going up, going down, going up. And eventually at 11 p.m., they said, okay, now we negotiate. Each of us will pay 50 million, and we're going to pay 150 million. I thought it was a joke. I said, we are going to pay 10 million. They said, what? What? Don't say that. They lifted up their knife to cut me. I said, please hold on. They said, we are not going to change though. They're going to pay us 150 million. Eventually, they said, okay, because you are a father. And these boys are between 18, the leader is about 35 years. I told them, all of you are younger than my own daughter and even my son. You are younger than them. I'm supposed to be your father. I say, we know. That's why we are not very harsh with you. Otherwise, not even outside. So they now say, okay, Oga, let us tell you what we will do. By then, they have taken my episcopal ring because it's gold plated. They've taken my wedding ring. They've taken this thing. They said, and they took all, ransacked our bag and took all the money. They said, okay, do you know what we do? Pay us 100 million. It's not negotiable. If you talk, we shoot you, kill you, and forget about the money and kidnap others. I said, okay, we will pay you 100 million. So they said, after some time, they said, where is the money? I said, this is Sunday night now. How can we get money this night? And you know that there's this seat at home in Igbo land. You can't afford the money now. Be patient till morning. We'll make contacts. Then we make contacts within and around Imo and Abia. Make contacts from our agency. My wife's line was not good, so I knew she must have been very depressed and confused. So eventually I was able to get her. I told her my life. Nothing had happened. I told my wife I'll be released, but it's a matter of time. And she told me she had already gathered people to pray. So they were praying. Now, at a time they said, you are delaying them. My Bishop of Owerri,
for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me, Mr. Dele. I know we've been trying to get back live on this program. It's taking so long. But please tell our viewers about what you do. Thank you so much.
Yes, hello and good evening or good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Dele Olubonun. I'm an architect or UK trained architect, design architect, but I also specialize in security, of the security of the building, of the interior, as well as installing all sorts of gadgets or devices that enhances security within your home, within the interior of your home, as well as within the external perimeter of your home. So just to give you a brief outline of how it all started. Not a couple of years ago, but like just over 10 years ago, I was in Lagos. I was working in Lagos for about 3 years as an architect. So I had a client, a former ambassador, who wanted to design a country home in Ibadan. And I got approached by this individual. And in the process of designing, I started to come up with some ideas, security ideas, and he got interested and he wanted to know more of what I had to offer. So in as much as I cannot go into details of what I do as per individual homes, I would say he ended up being a very satisfied client in terms of security. He could stay in his home. And as long as he is within his compound, he feels secured. So that's something. I recently concluded a design. Well, the project is almost completed. It's a villa in Mogadishu, Somalia. We all know how dangerous that place is. It's been a war-torn zone for many years. So the client was a dentist based in Sweden, a Somalian woman, and she approached me for a design, and she ended up being a very satisfied client as well, because the design basically it's within the security is designed within the or the security of the building is a package of the design. Let me put it that way. And so you may be in your home or you are in your home. If you feel under threats, there are measures you can take whereby you can feel much more secured wherever you are, whether within your home or you've somehow transported yourself so within the perimeter of your home and outside the very interior. So that's just to give you a bit of details of what I do.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me push this to you, because we have this video and I want you to watch this video. Luckily, I've shown it to our viewers.
Today in F41 Koba, Abuja, on the June of 8th, some kidnappers came here, blew up this place, trying to kidnap one of the residents in this compound. They already took one person at the downstairs, so they tried gaining entrance to this person's residence. Thank God for him. He's safe. They could not get him. And I thank God for my children and I, we are safe as well. This is what this country has turned into, that nowhere is safe. Nowhere is safe. They come to your house and kidnap. This is where we have gotten to. This is what...
So I'm so pleased that you've come on board. And again, let me apologize to those that are watching us right now. If you're watching us, I want you to like this page. I want you to share this page. Tell your friends that we're live, and thank you. Mr. Collins, who is watching us from Ibadan. Thank you, Mr. John, watching us from London. We also have somebody watching us from Abuja. About some of friends from Lagos, and got some somebody watching us all the way in Cotonou. Now, Bob, let me go straight into it, because I brought you in because I've known you for over 25 years. So for those people looking at me that this guy looks so younger than 16, don't let the looks deceive you. I'm an old man.
Correct.
But the truth is, I've known you for 25 years plus. So I know that you've been in this industry for quite some time, and it's quite refreshing to know that you've done this even in a place like Somalia. You put structure. So you're not talking about structures that people are building from the scratch alone, but even structures that are already there. You could actually still help to improve that structure, both internally and externally. And we saw a woman who, luckily for herself and her little young kids, and her husband, they've adopted somebody downstairs in Kubwa, she said, which is inside Abuja. They've adopted their neighbor, in the ground floor. They came to the upper floor, and for one reason or the other, they were not successful. But you could see the damage they did to that door. Now, the people that could do such a damage to a door will be ready to do more havoc on the individuals that refuse to open that door when they come in. Now, the question for me is, and I want to ask 3-4 questions, and then I'll give you the yes or no answers. Then I'll give you opportunity to actually go into it, because I'm going to ask you, because this is your field. Now, we know that the Nigerian government does not allow individuals to carry weapons except they get a permit, and the weapon they could carry is just a dig-down kind of gun, not not a submachine gun or anything like that. They can carry a local gun, and what's a local gun if you are facing 7 assailants coming into your house with AK-47, for God's sake? And how many bullets will you have in your house to be able to hold them, especially when you know you have kids? It's just better to not even let them know you have a weapon. Just tell them, like, I had a story. So I'll go to the story later, but let me ask you, in a situation where, because I know you know a little bit of law, where somebody enters your house with a little a deadly weapon, you are still within your right if you are able to eliminate that person, as far as you are not using an illegal substance like a gun. Because they could still they will say, yes, you defended yourself, but they can come after you and say you have a legal weapon. So what we're going to be talking about is how to use normal day-to-day weapon items to protect your house and your household and your family. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Am I right to say that?
Yes, you're right. Okay.
We'll not be using something like a gun, but what we're saying is that there are things like robotic, there are things like structural designs that could be put in place that can actually keep you and your family safe. So that's what we're talking about.
Yes. You see, I saw the video. Well, the video you showed me is quite unfortunate that things like that happens rampantly in Nigeria. And I think just to put things into perspective, the assailants, they're not necessarily armed with sophisticated explosive devices. These are dynamites that they use, and there are lots of quarries in Nigeria, stone breaking and granite and all this. And these explosive materials are not that regulated in Nigeria. They're widely available, and this is what these people use to gain access to place by blowing up things. Now, yes, as you did point out, yes. You are well within your right to defend yourself when you're faced with intruders. Okay, but it's how you defend yourself that matters. We don't carry guns in Nigeria because the government prevents us from owning weapons, especially unlicensed weapons. But one can easily retrofit within an existing design, existing building, security measures. That video, for example, that he showed us, the occupants of the house should have been well aware of the presence of intruders before they breached the front entrance or before they get to the house itself or the premises itself. As soon as they scale or they cross a certain threshold or a perimeter fence, the perimeter fence or anything like that, or even while they're still outside, still contemplating how to breach that perimeter fence, the occupants of the house, if the house is properly secured, should be aware, should have been alerted that there are potential intruders in or around the premises. So that's number one, and I think these are things that we do. I've installed and I've designed into properties in the past, and these are items that can easily be bought off the shelf, but these are items that can also be customized as per the requirements of individual buildings. I didn't mention this, but I have a background as well in computer science and robotics. So I also apply that in architecture as well, particularly when it comes to security. I don't know if you can see. Hey, I'm just going to flip this camera. Okay. I'm within my house here, but I have an autonomous robotic device. Just okay. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah. So this kind of navigates itself.
Wow.
Autonomously, avoids objects, and also recognizes moving objects, or recognizes humans. Am I still live?
You're live. Yeah.
Okay, so it has what we call facial recognition, object recognition. So it can recognize items, i.e., if someone is carrying a weapon, it can recognize that individual. It can track that individual, and all sort of things. It's limitless of what it can do. So
it's kind of interesting because I'm getting excited now. Can I ask you? I know this is theory, but there are people watching us and people that will watch this video after. Most of them will definitely want to get in touch with you, because for me personally, one of the questions that have been bugging me, in a country like Nigeria is, let's assume those people open that door. Yeah, they breach that first entry at that point. And we could see that there's a stairs actually, because the person that did that recording from a viewpoint of being on the stairs and looking downwards. That was what I saw. So, are there packages that could be developed that at the top of the stairs, you could actually have like maybe nail bump that actually, if somebody steps right, he made a breach in, you could actually use nail, because nail is not regulated in Nigeria. So if I'm able to shoot nail, like maybe 50 pieces of nail that could actually shoot towards that entrance, that will actually eliminate some of the people that are coming in forcefully. Because like you rightly said, the people in the house will have advanced knowledge. They could actually have a camera in their house. Even if their light is cut off, it could go solar, and they can actually use nail, like a gun, to shoot at people coming in. Is that possible in that science, or is that fiction?
Well, no, it's not fiction. But when it comes to security, you design several layers of security. So, as I said, whilst the intruders are still contemplating on how to breach the perimeter fence, the occupants should have been alerted with the right security in place. That's the first layer of security. The next layer of security is what you want to do to either eliminate the problem from outside your home, or you again, it depends on what level of security you want to do. Now, we have electric fences that can easily be disabled, okay, because they are clear. Their very presence have already warned the intruder that the intruder needs to eliminate that threat. Okay,
because they have to be told that there is an electric fence, so that little kids, minors, anybody that stray towards that area can know.
Yes. So there are devices that you can easily aim towards the intruders when they're breaching the fence, that are not necessarily firearms, and cannot be classified as firearms, but can be quite lethal as well. That's another thing. I'm not going to be going into details, but yes, those defenses do exist. There are non-lethal ways as well of deterring them from going further. Another thing is that once the front entrance or once the exterior part of the building has been breached, the exterior walls of your building has been breached, because it's good to note. Well, it's what we're noting that it's not necessarily the front door that get breached. Sometimes it's the entire front wall that get breached. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But once that house is breached, there are also other security measures that, if built in, would fully secure the occupants, at least until, give the occupants a couple of hours, solid couple of hours. And I don't think the intruders will be willing to wait for couple of hours, because they just want to get in and get out as quickly as they can.
Exactly, and I have to agree with you on that. One of the things that we know is that Nigerian police response time to report of criminality might be 3, 4, 5 hours, and any security measures that is put in place is meant to take into consideration the time lapse or the response time of the local police in that area. So that has to be built into it. So if we can delay individuals like that for 4, 5 hours before they could actually get to you, then at least you've done a good job. But there's something that was raised by Mr. John, saying that I was not right, that Nigerian constitution does not allow you to kill. Yes, I think I need to correct myself there. Nigerian constitution does not allow you to kill, but like a common law, like in common law, which is where Nigerian law, Nigerian constitution or Nigerian laws derive its strength from. If somebody is holding a lethal weapon, and I am actually in fear of my life, any action I take at that point is deemed as self-defense. So I know Mr. John will agree with me on that. So if someone is pointing a gun at me and I'm able to strike them with a knife straight into their heart and kill them, I can still stand on the defense of self-defense, to protect myself and not actually get arrested for that, because the person has entered into my house. Now, the question I wanted to ask you, Mr. Dele, is that we know that Nigeria, they use acid. They pour acid on walls in order to breach the wall into a person's house or into the fence. So they use, instead of using big hammer that could actually notify the owners of the occupants in the place that there's a breach that is ongoing, they actually do use acid. And I've heard of people saying that acid is being used. But I used to work as a special constable in one of the UK police station. I won't mention the specific police station, but I know that they do have double walls. So what they've done is that when you look at the window is reinforced in such a way there's actually a double wall, so that actually if you breach the first wall, you will actually come in contact with another wall. And it's normally done around the window side, not around the other side. Is that something that is still being done, or is it an old design, or is it something that was just done for heat preservation, or what's your opinion on that?
Well, in the UK or in cold climates, it's normally what they call a cavity wall. So they have double walls. Okay. But in police stations over the past years in the UK, they've come up with secure designs of their police stations, because they had the troubles of the back in the 80s and I think early 90s of the Northern Ireland troubles, yes, where police stations were constantly attacked with explosive devices by the Irish Republican Army. Yes. Yeah, so they had that, and so over the years they came up with some secured design for their police stations. But this is not what the individuals can readily afford. But there are ways that we can protect our premises in Nigeria. It doesn't help us the fact that the quality of building materials in Nigeria is very poor, because also the government barely regulates those producing or importing these materials. But then, yes, we can actually reinforce some of these materials. I was in Lagos 10 years ago, so I rented this really nice new apartment. I wanted to hang some paintings that I acquired, and getting a solid part of the wall to hang those things was like daunting. Everything was just breaking through. So and that's one of the problems we face, because these walls are easily breached. And this is why I put more emphasis on prevention rather than cure. So one, you have to use quality building materials to start with. Building blocks can be reinforced by adding additional concrete mixture within those hollow blocks. And also we can actually look at vulnerable parts of our buildings. That's why I said it's all customized. We look at vulnerable parts of our buildings and see how we can prevent some of these breaches. I had a friend working for the British as a diplomat in Lagos, and I visited her place just to have a look at. She invited me to have a look at the security measures in a place to see whether it's safe enough. And I gave it like 8 out of 10 because it was well thought through. So even apart from the fact that they had a security fencing, and all of that around, the individual apartments were equally highly secured. These were duplexes, and the lower floor was not as secured as the upper sleeping apartment or bedroom areas. But as soon as you transit from the lower floor to the upper floor, you find layers of security. You cannot get in there. They're trapdoors that all it takes is a panic button, and certain gates would cast iron gate which would almost like word shot. Yeah. So cutting the intruder or coming between the intruder and the occupants. So there are lots of things that can be done and are being done. But unfortunately, this is not widely known by the public. That's why most of our houses are easily breachable. And this is the awareness that we're trying to get to our people to know how to protect themselves before incidents happen. Most people react. They react after the fact instead of exploring the vulnerabilities within their residents and working towards plugging those vulnerabilities.
I know you are widely traveled, and I was having a conversation with a family member who were looking at building a property in Nigeria, of course, and they were looking at putting in iron bars on the window. And I said, that's a no. For me personally, I felt, why will you put iron bars? Because we know Nigeria has a big problem with fire in houses. Fire in the sense that maybe there is a light surge, electricity surge, and what happens is, the thing sparks, fire starts, and people can't get out through the windows because there's an iron bar, blocking. There's no way you'll be able to get out of. So it's like most fire when they happen, many people die in the houses because of that. And I'll say to the person, why don't you use shutters? Because I know in Europe, when you go to Spain or when you go to Spain, or you go to Italy, I think some parts of Italy, they actually have shutters. And there are shutters that you could bring there, and it's very difficult to actually use one of those saws or iron bar to actually break through those shutters once you pull them down. What is your own view on that? Do you think that should be part of the security measures that should be on the window rather than having iron bars on Nigerian windows? They should actually use customized shutters, which they can pull down from inside the house and lock it in, and they could lock it in rather than having iron bars on the windows with the windows. Yeah.
Yes. I would say that roller shutters, as we call them,
Yeah.
are more aesthetically aesthetics. They have more aesthetics than the iron bars. So in other words, they're more aesthetically pleasing than just using iron bars. Iron bars give you they gave you a feeling of being hemmed in, a prison-like fortress and all of that. Now, I'm not totally against iron bars. That's the cheapest way of like protecting the windows. I live in the UK here, or partly live in the UK because I'm always in Nigeria as well. And I have shutters both on my windows and my doors. I think if you can see behind me, there's a main entrance and a large window there with shutters on it, and you can't see outside because the roller shutters are down. Now that's for security, because even in the UK, your house get broken into. Even in the safest part of the UK, in the daytime when everyone is out to work. So I live in a safe part of London, but even then I still have to secure my premises. And now again, I heard of houses being broken into, police newsletters about how to secure your properties and all of that. So, okay, and this is me because I'm quite conscious of security. Yeah. Now, with iron bars on the windows, look, one can easily mitigate risk of being trapped in with regards to fire by making those iron bars, those burglary-proof bars, I would put it, as openable. So you're easily able to open them from within the house. Okay, so
really? How would that work? Sorry, how would that work?
It depends on the design. The design,
Okay.
when
they could be screwed out, or they could actually be a plug that you could actually just pull the handle and then.
Yeah, there are parts of it that can be on hinges, yes, and can be locked. Okay, that's one thing. Another one is that you can easily secure them through unsecure them through releasing clamps from within the homes, within the inside. Those they will be unreachable from outside. I've seen designs like that, and I've worked with a company in Ikeja, designing iron burglary-proof bars and security doors, bulletproof doors. And we've come up with all sorts of designs in the past. Now, this is quite possible. I think one of the things with iron bars, as I said, is looking at it is the fact that it's not not much aesthetics comes out of it when you have it against your windows. But then when you're really designing something, if you want something looking a bit of an art, something arty and secured. Yes, there are ways of getting burglary-proof bars that are kind of carved out from an entire steel plate and carved out into some kind of art forms that doubles up as a burglary-proof bar that can be against your window and also openable, so it makes it safe. Also, with regards to doors as well, these are, you get glass doors, that actually got this artistically designed burglary-proof embedded or sandwiched within these glass doors, and they're much more secure than your solid doors. So there are lots of security means and measures that we've applied and executed in the past that you look at, and as an intruder, that's just too much of an extra effort for you to hang around. So most of those times, the intruders are normally deterred by those security measures in place.
Thank you so much. Let me ask you my last 4 questions before I let you go. I could see the time is fast spent. For those that are watching us back home, you could repeat this video, watch this video again, because we're going to leave all the other topics and we might come back to it next Saturday, and I'll invite my good friend to come back again so that we could actually talk intensively on this and have videos that we can actually play for you to see what we are talking about. Now, part of the structural design, I know that I've seen those robots that you've done, that those robots actually can move within the house like a patrol. So instead of people spending money on security guards in Nigeria that sleep and sleep off, you can actually have sensors, robots that actually can detect people working in your building and can actually automatically, if automated, can actually put in those kind of measures in place to say one in, and even there are chemicals that could be sprayed. Like, I was watching one video. I was actually watching one video of a guy that he had problem with big cats coming into where he lives in the jungle, and he actually had a robotic structure in place where those things dispatch certain smells, and that smell is of another big cat. So when those ones smell that one, they tend to run away, because and those are security measures. So you might have snakes. It might be the problem that you have is snakes coming into your house. I saw a video today where a big snake entered into the house and into the cupboard in the kitchen. I actually stayed in the, under the cupboard. God forbid that kind of big snake strikes an individual. That's Nigeria for you because of the kind. I don't know why, but they tend to have snakes inside the house. I don't know how they do it, but I will not be able to sleep in that house again if I see snake. But this is as if it's normal for. Are those kind of technology, small robotics technology available, which you could put in using solar that could actually help to keep snakes away, dispatch certain smell, take a security light, a lighting security light, even when there is no light. Can we use windmill to power it or solar to power it rather than electricity? Because Nigeria has a problem with electricity. Can this robotic really work in Nigeria, in a country where electricity is a big problem?
Yes, if you want to install robotics, then you have to install the whole ecosystem that goes with it. One thing is, okay, power. How do you power it? Now, power is not a insurmountable issue that cannot be resolved. I think it can be powered with solar energy. These things usually is maximum 24-volt batteries, or some of them far less. Yes, with most of our homes today are either manned by security guards that they're the first one to compromise security anyway. They're the ones that tends to give inside information to the potential intruders. They work with intruders and all of that. Yes, but because a friend of mine that got burgled, he just woke up and found intruders in his home, and how they found their way around was so baffling. And the only way they could have done that was that they had information, and the only people that could have supplied them the information was their security guard. And the suspected one, which they fired immediately. Okay, so things like that. But with robotic devices, they don't fall asleep. They're designed to recognize unusual patterns. So if everyone is in bed by 10 p.m. and suddenly there's movement around after 10 p.m., that's unusual. That's a pattern that is not recognized and is flagged up. So these things are trained. The longer you have them and you regulate them, the more they train. They get trained. So they use what we call neural network, which is a training process to show them how and when to react. You see, when your gate gets opened at unusual time, they react. When people are hanging around unusual time, they react. When movements are unusual, they react. These things lay dormant, so they rely on minimum energy use until they get triggered by some instances, pre-programmed instances like movements or lights or unusual things that are outside the data to the pattern that they recognize. And these things would easily communicate. The good thing about these things is that, while you are in a safe place of your home, either within your home or you've somehow transported yourself from within your home to a safer part of your compound, as part of the details. I'm not going to be going into the details, but as part of what we do, you can have these robotic devices that's out there on your behalf while you are out of harm's way. They know the plan of your building, because you've driven them around the plan of your building, and they map out the plan. So you could basically instruct them from your remote location to go to the kitchen, and they will go to the kitchen, and they will send remote images back to you, video images of whoever is in the kitchen. And you can basically instruct them to go to any part of the home or outside the home, and they will go, and then you'll be able to use them to monitor the home. They can be large, as the one I just showed you, or they can be quite small and unnoticeable devices. That they're not noisy, they're very quiet, and they use what we call they use some of the cutting edge technology we use today. Some of the emerging technologies that some of these driverless cars uses. It's the same principles they use, but they are all built by the parts are all sourced locally and can be easily customized and built to spec. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of things that, in terms of layers of security, that can be put in place to secure our lives or the lives of our loved ones.
Excellent. There is a video that is trending at the moment, and it's about a gentleman,
Yeah, due to the increased insecurity in Nigeria, I felt the need to share this simple app with everybody that cares to download the apps. The app is called Life 360. I say Life 360. It will appear like this on your phone when you download the app. So when you download and share it with your loved ones, you share it with them according to their numbers, as many people you want it to show on your phone. Tẹ́bá ti download there, ẹ kàn fi number wọn sí ni, àwọn loved ones sí ni tẹ́bá fẹ́ kọ́ rí. So the idea ni wípé ó máa jẹ́ kí everybody máa mọ ibi tí everybody bá wà at a particular time. Tó bá ń travel ni, ó máa sọ ibi tó wà. Tó bá anywhere tó bá wà, ó máa sọ ibi tó wà, regardless of the town, regardless of the spot. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ń jí wa gbé o. Should in case téèyàn bá wà in danger, kíní ó máa show. Ó dẹ̀ máa show like this lórí map ibi tó ní kálukú bá wà. Eléyìí tí mo show yín sìn, àwọn eléyìí ibi tán wà lélẹ̀, time tán wà ńbẹ̀, tán wà níbi tán wà lélẹ̀.
Okay, so he's more or less just talking about how to keep yourself safe through technology apps. So these things 10-15 years ago are not available. Now they're readily available. Those security architecture that you're talking about, can they still be viewed by the owner of the house even when they are far away from that house, far away in Europe or America, or even when they're in their office? Can they check it when they're on the go in their car, to check that their house is secured, that those parameters, there's no breach of those parameters? This technology that you're talking about.
Yes, it's very much possible, and it's well in use. I mean, some of these robotic devices, you can be in Australia and the United States and control it from there. To go around your house, to go into the kitchen, to go into the backyard, to check what's happening there. Now, okay, others will say that yes, okay, there are CCTV cameras that can do that, but let's not forget CCTV cameras are easily disabled. Everyone knows how to disable a CCTV camera. If it's a wireless one, that can be even disabled remotely through jamming its transmission. So, but with robotic devices, they're quite safe because they would basically follow your instructions, and the only instructions will be coming from you. So they know exactly who is controlling them and where they're being asked to go to, and how to video feedback to the person controlling them. So Yes, it can be done. You can control it. You can see, get video feedback from any part of the world. You can actually, if you want to speak and communicate to the intruders, you can also, if you want to, from your remote location. And if you want to actually inform the authorities as to the presence of intruders in your home when you're not around, you can. And you can also have the robotic platform meet the authorities, like the police, if they arrive on time, and take the police directly to where the intruders may be or maybe are hiding.
Okay, so what you're saying now is that even we know what happened in our war, and our condolence to the families who had to, more or less, are in mourning for their loved ones that were killed. But are you saying that there is that robotic structure in place and technology in place that even in a big church, before people even come close to the main building, there are things that we could put there that could more or less, like an infrared, identify if people are carrying weapons, so that there's an alert, so that like these ones that went through the gate and were walking into the building before they open fire, if they walk through the gate, you could actually put a technology there for churches where it could actually identify from the onset that these people are carrying things they're not supposed to carry, which will allow the security guards, even if they could not see with their naked eyes, that these guys are concealing such weapons.
Yes, I mean, look, it's my condolences to the family of the disease, and I just hope that people who carried out this dastardly act would be arrested and brought to justice. I get, when I look at things like that, I get so upset that I would, if I was the governor, I'd be asking for their arrest, dead or alive. Find them either dead or alive wherever they are hiding, or those who are keeping them or hiding them away. But I also feel it's a responsibility of these churches to raise the stake on their security. I was working for one of the largest Nigerian church in the UK some years ago, KICC. I don't know whether I should have mentioned their name. Yes, but and there was I was the design architect, and there was a compound that a site they wanted to expand onto, which eventually they did not because the contract fell through. But part of the security was that we designed the car park with such measures in place that all the cars, all the vehicles that comes in are constantly registered. So it has things like number plate recognition. So if at any point in time, maybe if 5 Sundays later, a car comes in with a plate number that is not recognized, registration number that is not recognized, the barrier does not open up automatically. And that alerts the security personnel to double check that particular vehicle. Now, because every vehicle that's been coming in since the installation of that security devices, were like registered, the color, the registration number, the make of the vehicle is registered, and it's registered onto the database, and the system learns as it goes along that vehicle is a regular visitor and it's safe to let that vehicle in. But once a vehicle that is not that clearly identifiable approaches the number plate recognition cameras that controls the barrier, they flag security up for double check of the vehicle. Now, that's one measure. You see, so it's layers of security. That's the first layer of security to stop the vehicle from coming in if they came by car. The second layer of security is that if they came, on foot, then they should have to go through some kind of weapon or metal detection corridor, device. They need to go through. Everyone needs to to go through, and then put your bags or whatever you have, your possessions, through another scanner. I think all these things are easily affordable by these big churches. They're not that expensive when it comes to cost. So that's why I feel it's part of the responsibilities of the churches to protect, to put the necessary security in place. With regards to having robotics there, don't forget that robotics can be an all-terrain one that runs on the ground, or the drone type one that is in the air. These are not expensive technology at all. But when there is a security alert, all devices should go into RAID. So basically, all security devices you have should be on maximum operation. Your drones should be in the air. Your affordable drones, these are quite affordable. They are drones that will spend 1 hour in the air and monitor this security situation, that will instantly take off on its own without without it being controlled. All these things are readily available. They are things that we've done, and we've done successfully. We've tested in the field and clearly works. Because what you need to do is that you need to be able to monitor an unfolding situation, which was what was lacking at the Owo massacre. The killers came in. For a while. It was difficult to even ascertain the numbers of these murderers, and then they disappeared. Report later claims that they were about 4 in numbers. 4 people wielding AK-47 could be easily subdued if the necessary security is in place.
Thank you so much, because you've more or less hit on the nail, in terms of this issue. If you're watching us right now, you could like this page, share this page, and I'm here with Mr. Dele, who's been giving us full analysis on this issue, and I know we're definitely going to come back to this issue again. Let me ask you a question, because there is I know you follow Nigerian politics regularly, and you know that all these kidnapping, security issues that are going on. What's your view of insecurity challenges in Nigeria at the moment? This is a beautiful country that we all love to go to, and it's so sad that we're now in a situation where a lot of people are more or less contemplating leaving the country because of. Is it raining? Yeah, it's raining. Okay. With all the heat, the rain has just come through, which is good. So yeah, that with all the security challenges that are going through, if anyone says, I want Mr. Dele's contact, I need to speak to him about architectural design and putting these things. Somebody say, oh, it's only for the wealthy and all those sorts. Are there technologies that are available that even the people that are not wealthy can actually stay tapped into? BBS is not cheap in Nigeria, of course.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, okay, let's put it this way, I don't think you can put a price on security.
Yeah.
Okay. But again, it has to be, it's good to have a security that is affordable. Okay. It's a difficult question. These things are not, would not break your bank account, put it this way, you spend some money on it, but it's not extraordinary amounts. People buy luxury goods, you go on luxury holiday, but I think your safety is paramount. There are measures that need to be taken in place, both individually as well, state government and the federal government. Most of this responsibility lies on the foot of the federal government, in all honesty. I think the earlier we vote out this government and get a government that takes security as serious, the better. It doesn't take a genius to understand that the security apparatus we currently have in Nigeria is grossly inadequate. We're a population of over 250 million. Police force of barely 100 or 150,000 paramilitary put together. So I think a good government would think of how to enhance security in terms of numbers, training, and order, and how to pay for it. Is there a security tax that they will be levied against companies, big companies or multinationals that would provide extra money? The multinationals are good in protecting themselves and their personnel. I think it's time to tell them to give us some of the profit they're siphoning out of this country and let us divert it to some security budget, whereby we should be able to enhance the number of policing in the country. We have in the UK here, we have what they call, I'm not sure whether it still exists, what they used to call constables, where you're an architect for 20 days or 30 days a month, and 5 days a month you are like any police,
Yep, they're called special constables. I did that with Kent, and they're still doing it.
Yes, I think this is how we need to expand our security service in our country. We can divert what we currently call the National Youth Service Corps. We can divert a lot of them some of them into policing or paramilitary duties. We can have professionals also, volunteered or volunteering, or by law they have to dedicate some time. Their companies or workplaces need to pay for their time off during that services. So everyone needs to have their hands. Every hand needs to be on deck when it comes to security. And that's one thing. When it comes to some of these high-profile security breaches, like the attack on the Kaduna Abuja train service. Now, that's not the first time such attack has happened, okay? And yet the government was caught napping. You see, those train services should be, you should have, by now, you should have, armed escorts, not necessarily in military fatigue or things like that, but they know themselves. They're seated amongst the carriages, they're heavily armed, ready to respond. There should be fortified part of those carriages by now. Well, those train, carriages by now should be fortified, armored, fortified, ready to defend. These bandits are just untrained criminals just running riots with AK-47. Most of them don't know how to shoot straight, to be honest. So why should they be terrorizing us as a nation?
It's interesting. It's interesting you said that. I know for a fact that Nigeria has special constable, and they are called spy. They're called spy police. I don't know why they name spy police, but they don't have the kind of powers that we have here, where you actually go into the magistrate sign and you have the power of arrest like a normal police officer. They don't have that. So I think that's where they need to advance it to. I could tell you, I got on the train from Lagos to Ibadan, and I saw one of those special police officers, those trains, special forces on the train, and he was wearing a slippers with a t-shirt that says special force on the train. So that tells you exactly the kind of police officers that they have there. And even when that incident happened on the Ibadan, on the Kaduna Abuja route, they said that they actually exchanged fires, gun bullet with the what do you call it, with the adopters or kidnappers. But we've not had any story about if they exchange fire, how come those people are still able to cut off people away?
Yes.
Why is it that they were not the ones they were not part of the people that were taken away?
They captured, yes. That's it. I mean,
that tells you a lot about the kind of security they provide.
It does. It does tells you a lot. What these bandits do, they do what they call concentration of power, so concentration in numbers. They come in large numbers. Okay, so by putting half a dozen security personnel on board is inadequate. But by having parts of the carriages that are fortified, heavily fortified with armored armored plated, that enhances the security of those that are designated to secure the carriages. Okay, that in its own is a force multiplier, because part of those carriages that are, you see, we shouldn't just be taking things that are given to us by China or sold to us by China. We should look at it and customize it to our needs, you see.
Which is what the Israelis do.
Yes, exactly. This is innovation. You see, we need to look at what we need and how we can get things from overseas and customize it to satisfy our need here. You see, and the government is not talking to security experts. They just buy these things and they mount them on the tracks and off it goes.
Okay. I'm going to we're going to end this program now because I know I've taken a lot of your time, and I just want to appreciate you and appreciate all those people that have joined us from around the world. But I'm going to leave with this very wise advice that a singer was giving to a man with regard to his wife, and I hope you all enjoy it. And I look forward to speaking to you again next week. Until then.
Oh yeah, listen well, man, if you want to get the best wife, you want your wife today submissive, you want your wife today hear what you talk, okay? Do 5 things for your wife. Women, they need 5 things. If you just do those 5 things, no problem, go even to your family. Oh yeah, number 1, always give your wife money. I say waiting, okay? Always give your wife money. Number 2, don't forget to give her money. Madam, don't forget to give her money. I say number 3, Oga, keep giving her money. Oga in Anogwa, keep giving her money. Number 4, don't go out without giving her money. Don't go out without giving her money. Dr. Egwedo, listen to me. Number 5, now you need to do. Dr. Egwedo, you need to do this one. It is very important. If the money finish, my brother, go and borrow money. Women, they like money. Women cannot do without money. Woman, they do without money. With money, a woman could be loyal.
Olodo, I'm a preventive terrorism consultant, author and president of African Security Forum based in the United Kingdom.
Joining me live now to discuss this further is terrorism expert and author Temitope Olodo.
Joined now by Temitope Olodo. Joined now by security analyst Temi Olodo. Good morning, Temi.
Ladies and gentlemen, my people, to be man, no be by muscle, to be man, no be by plenty bia. Okay, what do you know about security will concern your life, concern your family, and concern your community? How much about politics will concern you and even concern the politics you know about? You want know more? You want sabi as they go? Oh yeah, now introducing Temitope Olodo. Yes, Temitope Olodo. Now the man wey sabi pass sabi. Temitope Olodo na professional and he gets plenty much experience as a security guru. Anything or any matter wey concern security, leave her for her because na him be the baba. Temitope Olodo na diaspora community leader with better experience for community leadership. As a political scientist, Temitope Olodo does study and understand the political space, and he gets over 20 years of news analysis with exclusive interview with top professionals at the top. I mean, them the oga gang where they are at the top. Yes, ke by Ogbonge family. Shine your eye, open your ear. Temitope Olodo na the man wey sabi. Oh yeah, na as